That same Halloween night, Gotham's mayor, Don Mitchell Jr., is murdered in his own home. The killer, who we'll come to know as the Riddler, wraps him in duct tape, severs his thumb, and leaves behind a message written across his face. No more lies. And then there's the letter, addressed not to the police, but to the Batman personally. Inside, a riddle, a cipher, a gift. This is the detail that should stop you cold. A serial killer is writing fan mail to Batman. He doesn't see himself as Batman's enemy. He sees himself as Batman's partner. Lieutenant Jim Gordon calls Batman to the scene, one of the few cops in Gotham who doesn't despise the man in the mask. And together they examine what the Riddler left behind. The cipher translates to a single word, drive, which leads them to the mayor's garage, where a thumb drive is hidden, with the severed thumb still attached to it. On that drive, photos of the mayor exiting the Iceberg Lounge nightclub with an unidentified woman. The Iceberg Lounge, owned by one Oswald Cobblepot. The Penguin, the right-hand man of Gotham's most powerful crime boss, Carmine Falcone. One body, and already 3 of Gotham's most dangerous names are in the frame. Batman heads to the Iceberg Lounge to press Oz for answer, and Oz, smooth as always, claims he doesn't recognize the woman in the photos. But one of the club's waitresses does. Her name is Selina Kyle, and she takes one look at that photo and visibly reacts before she can stop herself. Batman follows her home and learns that the woman in those photos, Annika, is Selina's roommate, her best friend. And Annika has now vanished. Selina and Batman strike an uneasy agreement. He'll help her find her friend. She'll give him access to the parts of Gotham he can't reach on his own. Before they can make much progress, the Riddler strikes again, this time posting a video online revealing that he's taken the Gotham City Police Commissioner, Pete Savage, hostage. Selina recognizes Savage from the Iceberg Lounge's underground room, 44 below, the part of the club that's a mob hangout, not a night spot. Another cipher, another clue. The translation this time, Rata Alada, rat with wings in Spanish, or the Riddler's broken attempt at it. He's telling them to follow the rat, find the informant. To get closer, Batman equips Selina with high-tech contact lenses that stream everything she sees directly to him, then sends her into 44 below to gather intel. She gets close to Gotham's district attorney, Gil Coulson, who lets slip something terrifying while clearly trying to hold himself together. He's afraid of what will happen when people find out who the informant is. He says, if the rat's identity gets out, it'll tear the whole city apart. That's a significant amount of fear for a man who prosecutes criminals for a living. The mayor's public memorial is interrupted in the most dramatic way possible when a car crashes through the church. Gil Coulson is in the driver's seat. There's a bomb taped around his neck, a phone taped to his hand, and a letter to Batman across his chest. The Riddler calls. He gives Coulson a chance to survive if he can answer 3 riddles in 2 minutes. The first 2 he manages. What is cruel, poetic, or blind? Justice. How much were you paid to look away? $10,000. And Coulson admits it, his voice breaking. The third riddle asks him to name who he was protecting. He won't. He refuses to answer. And so, the bomb detonates. He chose death over giving up a name. Whatever secret he was protecting, it was worth more to him than his own life. Batman and Gordon begin tailing the Penguin, convinced he's the rat with wings the cipher pointed to. A spectacular Batmobile chase through a highway tunnel leads to Oz's capture and interrogation, during which he mocks the Riddler's terrible Spanish. Rata Alada doesn't even mean rat with wings properly. It's wrong. And that's when Batman has the realization, what if it wasn't a translation? What if it was a web address? He types in rataalada.com, and it opens a chat room. The Riddler's there, waiting. He tells Batman the Penguin is not the rat, and he leaves one more riddle. I grew up from a seed, tough as a weed, but in a mansion or a slum, I'll never know where I come from. The answer? An orphan, which points them to Gotham's old orphanage, once part of the Wayne estate before it was donated and Wayne Tower was built over the site. When they arrive, there's footage from Thomas Wayne's mayoral campaign playing on a projector and 2 messages on the wall, Renewal is a lie. Sins of the father. The Riddler's next target isn't another corrupt official. It's Bruce Wayne. Batman races home, but he's already too late. An hour before his discovery, Alfred opened a package that had been left for Bruce. It exploded. Alfred survives, but barely. He's rushed to hospital in critical condition. This moment lands hard because Alfred isn't just staff. He raised Bruce. He's the closest thing to family Bruce has left. And now even he has been pulled into the blast radius of Bruce's war on Gotham. The Riddler's next broadcast is the one that changes everything. He reveals that 20 years ago, a journalist began investigating the Wayne family. What they found? Bruce's mother, Martha, came from the Arkham family. As a child, her mother murdered her father and then killed herself. Martha spent years in and out of psychiatric institutions, a fact that was covered up by both the Arkham family and later by Thomas Wayne himself. When the journalist refused to be bought off, Thomas didn't walk away. He called in a favor from Carmine Falcone, and Falcone had the reporter killed. Thomas Wayne, beloved philanthropist and candidate for mayor of Gotham, ordered a man's death to protect his wife's reputation. Bruce sits with this for a moment. Then, he goes to see Falcone. Falcone confirms the story, with a twist. He claims the reporter was also on the payroll of rival crime boss Salvatore Maroni, and that maybe it was Maroni who ordered the Wayne's murder that same night, because having Thomas in Falcone's debt forever was the last thing Maroni wanted. A theory? Not proof, but enough to plant a seed of doubt about the night Bruce's parents died and who actually pulled the trigger. When Bruce confronts Alfred at the hospital, alive, recovering, and clearly expecting this conversation, Alfred doesn't deny any of it, but he gives it context that Falcone left out. Thomas went to Falcone because he was desperate. He didn't want the man killed. He wanted him scared off. He asked Falcone to scare the journalist enough to stop the story. Falcone saw an opportunity instead. He killed the reporter, and now he owned Thomas Wayne. The most powerful man in Gotham was in his pocket. Thomas's response was to threaten to go to the police and confess everything. He was going to burn it all down rather than stay compromised. He never got the chance. He and Martha were killed that same night. Alfred believes Thomas was a good man who made a catastrophic mistake. Bruce isn't sure what to believe anymore. And that uncertainty about his own father, his own legacy, is going to define everything that comes next. Selina has been doing her own digging. She's recovered her phone, the one Annika had taken, and on it is a voicemail Annika left just before she was killed. In it, Annika names the Rat, the informant who helped take down Maroni's operation, the person at the center of everything, Carmine Falcone. Falcone had played both sides his entire career. He informed on Maroni, used the resulting prosecutions to get his own people installed across Gotham's institutions, judges, DAs, police commissioners, and then pulled their strings. The Gotham Renewal Fund, meant to help the city's orphans, became his personal money laundering machine. And through Kenzie, the corrupt officer they'd been tracking, they learned the full scope. Falcone wasn't just rich, he was Gotham. Every powerful figure in the city was his puppet. Selina's had enough. She's going to the club. She's going to kill him. Batman refuses to let her cross that line. If they become killers, he argues, they're no better than the people they're fighting. She doesn't care. She goes anyway. At the Iceberg Lounge, Selina has Falcone at gunpoint, but Batman kills the lights at the wrong moment, giving Falcone the split second he needs to grab her by the throat with a pipe, nearly strangling her. "You made me do this," he snarls. "Just like your mother." She's his daughter. He got her mother pregnant, abandoned them both, watched her mother get strangled, and when social services came to take Selina away, he chose not to claim her. Even then, Batman arrives and incapacitates Falcone. Gordon arrests him. It looks like it's over. Then a shot cracks through the window. Falcone drops, killed in custody, before he can testify, before he can name names. Shot dead by the Riddler from a building across the street. The Riddler wanted Falcone exposed, not arrested, exposed, and then silenced. so that the chaos he's been engineering can finally begin. They track him to a corner diner. He's sitting there calmly, waiting to be caught. His name is Edward Nashton, a forensic accountant, unremarkable in every way. And when Batman comes face to face with him in Arkham Asylum, the conversation is deeply uncomfortable. Nashton grew up in that orphanage, the one on the Wayne estate. He watched Thomas Wayne campaign on promises of renewal and hope for Gotham's forgotten children. And then Thomas died, and the money disappeared, and the children were forgotten again. Nobody talked about the orphans. Everyone talked about poor Bruce Wayne, the little boy who'd lost his parents. Bruce had a name. Bruce had a manor. Bruce had Alfred. Nashton had nothing, not even a last name. He was a ward of the state. He aged out of the system invisible. He's not angry at Bruce Wayne exactly. He's angry at what Bruce Wayne represents, the lie that the Waynes were ever actually going to help people like him. And he built his entire identity, his entire mission, around proving that lie to the world. He also reveals something that shakes Batman to his core. He thinks they're the same. He built this whole crusade inspired by Batman. He thought they were on the same team. Batman calls him a sick, twisted, pathetic psychopath. The Riddler, genuinely hurt, tells him he's not as smart as he thought, and that he should go back to the apartment, because there's still one more clue he missed. Under the carpet in Nashton's apartment, there's a map of Gotham City carved into the floor, blinking lights around the edges, a message in the center, a real change. Also, the password to the Riddler's web videos, which they'd found but couldn't unlock. The video reveals everything. Nashton has planted bombs along Gotham's seawall, set to detonate on the night the new mayor is elected, which is tonight, right now. The explosions go off. The seawall collapses. The city begins to flood. And that's not all. Because Nashton's 500 followers, the people he's been radicalizing online for months, are now active, armed, positioned above Gotham Square Garden, where thousands of terrified civilians have taken shelter from the flood. Their mission? Assassinate the newly elected mayor. Batman arrives at the garden and tears through the gunmen systematically, but takes a shotgun blast to the chest that sends him flying. For a moment, it looks like it might be over. One of the shooters lines up a headshot. Selina, who was supposed to be leaving Gotham tonight, fires first. She'd gotten trapped by the flooding and ended up exactly where she needed to be. The new mayor survives, shot but alive. The gunmen are neutralized. Then, the floodwater hits the building. Batman lights a flare. This brilliant, warm orange light cutting through the dark and the water and starts guiding civilians through the wreckage to higher ground. Not fighting, not intimidating, just helping, pulling people up, making sure no one drowns. It's the first moment in the film where Batman isn't using fear as his weapon. He's being something else. Something he hasn't let himself be yet. Hope. Back in Arkham, Nashton sits in his cell, completely broken. His plan failed. His partner, Batman, chose the people over the vision. Then the man in the next cell leans over and starts talking. A new friend, he says. Someone who's had his own run-ins with the Batman. Someone with a face that looks like it's been through something catastrophic. If you know what you're looking at, you know exactly who this is. And the implication that he and Nashton are already beginning to connect in Arkham. As Gotham begins the long, painful process of rebuilding, Selina packs her bags. She's done with this city. Falcone is dead. Annika is gone. She has nothing left here except proximity to danger. She asks Bruce to come with her. He refuses. Not because he doesn't want to. You can see it on his face. He wants to very much. But he won't leave Gotham. He made a promise to this city in the worst moment of his life, and he's not capable of walking away from it. They ride together through the flooded streets for as long as they can. Then their paths split. She keeps going. He turns back, and that's where the movie ends.